You can want more. You can dream bigger. You can write down goals, make vision boards, pray for miracles, and still stay broke. Why? Because desire without identity is powerless. The universe is not responding to what you wish for, it is responding to who you are. Desire is the spark, yes. But a spark without fuel burns out fast. That's why people attend a seminar, get excited, and within days, they're back to the same financial struggles. Their desire was real, but their identity was unchanged. Let me tell you something few dare to say out loud. Wanting is not enough. Wanting, in fact, can become a trap. It makes you feel like you're moving forward, but often it keeps you stuck in a loop of wishing, fantasizing, and spiritual daydreaming without ever shifting your self-concept. You don't attract money by hoping for it. You attract it by becoming someone who naturally produces, receives, and stewards it. When a woman says, "I want to be rich," but sees herself as a struggling mother. When a man says, "I want to earn 6 figures," but walks around carrying shame about money, the law of life will not override their inner image. Because desire is an emotion. Identity is a command. This is why Scripture says, "According to your faith be it unto you," not according to your desire. Faith is not longing. Faith is certainty, and certainty is born from identity. If your subconscious mind still sees money as hard to get, not for people like you, or only comes through sacrifice, then no amount of affirmations can override that internal belief. You can repeat, "I am wealthy," 100 times a day. But if your spirit whispers back, "No, you're not," then you are only dressing poverty in spiritual clothing. You must understand, the outer world will never outrun the inner world. If you're always needing more, always chasing, always reaching, your life becomes a magnet for neediness, not abundance. And this is the hardest truth for people to accept. Because desire feels good. It gives us hope. It gives us movement. But movement without direction is noise. So how do you shift? It begins with confronting the illusion that desire is enough. It's not. You must take your desire, your longing, your dreams, your goals, and ask yourself, who do I need to become for this to be normal? Because when you become it on the inside, life has no choice but to reflect it on the outside. And from there, a deeper truth emerges. The world is full of people who want more, but very few who are being more. And that's the difference between the rich and the restless. The rich don't just desire abundance. They carry it. They wear it. They are it. Identity is the silent signal you send out into the universe every day. It speaks louder than your prayers, your goals, your hustle. It's the invisible frequency that tells life what to bring to your door. You can't fake it, not with affirmations, not with expensive clothes, not even with a successful front. Because life doesn't respond to performance. It responds to truth. Who you are being consistently is what you will always attract. Think of it this way. You are like a radio tower. You don't get to choose what you want to hear. You only get what you're tuned into. And if your identity is still dialed into fear, lack, or unworthiness, you will keep receiving more of the same, no matter how hard you pray or how badly you want different results. This is why most people feel stuck. They're changing their goals, but not their identity. They try new strategies, chase new opportunities, read new books, but inside, they're still operating from the same story. I'm not enough. I'm just surviving. I don't belong in rooms of wealth. Let me give you an example. A man who sees himself as just getting by will subconsciously sabotage big breakthroughs. He'll miss the call, procrastinate on the project, talk himself out of the investment. Why? Because success would be out of alignment with the identity he's loyal to. The subconscious mind doesn't seek success, it seeks consistency. And it will work overtime to make sure your outer life matches the inner image you've accepted as truth. That's why changing your actions without upgrading your identity is like painting over rust. The shine won't last, the cracks will return. But when you shift who you are being, when you adopt the identity of someone who naturally receives, creates, and multiplies wealth, the world bends to match your new reality. You don't earn more because you hustle harder. You earn more because you become the version of yourself that wealth recognizes. That version of you is calm, certain, clear, not because the money is here, but because the identity is. You want abundance? Step into the version of you who already has it. Walk like them. Speak like them. Think like them before a single thing has changed on the outside. Because when identity is upgraded, the environment adjusts. When your being changes, your receiving changes. When you stop trying to attract money and start being the kind of person money is drawn to, everything shifts. And this brings us to something most people never realize. Certainty is the key that unlocks the flow. Let me speak this plainly. If you're still hoping, you're not ready to receive. Hope is gentle. It's soft. It's sweet. But it has no authority. Hope wishes. Certainty commands. And only one of them opens the gates of abundance. The universe is not hesitant. It's not confused. It's precise. It's governed by spiritual law, not emotional chaos. Which means what you believe with certainty is what must be mirrored back to you. No exceptions. The mistake most people make is confusing desire with faith. They think, because I want it so badly, surely it will come. But your intensity of wanting has nothing to do with your capacity to receive. Desire creates movement, yes, but only certainty creates manifestation. Let me show you how this works. Imagine two people walking into a room of opportunity. One walks in with excitement, hope, a little fear, a little doubt. She's thinking, I hope they see my value. I hope I'm chosen. The other walks in with presence, clarity, and conviction. Not arrogance, but embodied confidence, knowing, I bring value. I am the one. Who do you think the room responds to? It's not magic. It's alignment. People like money gravitate to certainty because certainty feels safe. It feels clear. It feels anchored. Doubt is slippery. Doubt is inconsistent. And the law will not pour abundance into an unstable vessel. So what creates certainty? Not pretending. Not affirmations shouted into a mirror you don't believe. Certainty is born from identity, from fully becoming the person for whom the outcome is natural. It's no longer, I hope this business succeeds, but I am a builder of value, and success is the natural consequence. No longer, I hope I get clients, but people are already looking for what I offer, and I am the answer. This is not delusion. This is precision. You're not making things up. You're lining things up. And when your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in alignment with the belief that it is already done, you move from force into flow. The anxious striving ends. The spiritual begging ends. The energy of chase is replaced by the energy of claim. But here's where most fall short. They want to believe, but they don't create the structure that supports belief. And without structure, certainty crumbles. Let me be blunt. You can't carry overflow with broken buckets. People pray for more money, more success, more freedom, and yet they live in a state of disorder, distraction, and disarray. And they wonder why increase doesn't arrive. Let me tell you why. The law does not waste supply. And it will not pour more into a vessel that leaks. It will not release the river if the channel is clogged. Structure is not the enemy of flow, it is the requirement. Wealth is not a wild guest that drops in unannounced. It arrives by invitation, and that invitation is written in the form of order. You say you want to earn more? Then where will the money go? What system will protect it, grow it, multiply it? If you do not prepare containers, the oil will stop flowing. Remember the widow in Scripture? She gathered vessels for the oil to be poured into, and the oil only stopped when the vessels ran out. Not when God was tired. Not when the supply ended. When the structure ended. You want to expand your business, but your time is scattered. You want to invest, but your finances are untracked. You want to be trusted with more, but your mind is still driven by chaos. The universe is not withholding from you. It's simply waiting for you to make room. Structure creates the capacity for increase. It brings order to emotion. It gives direction to energy. Without it, you'll always feel like you're starting over, hustling harder, trying to catch up. But when you establish structure in your habits, your environment, your finances, your vision, you move from reactive to receptive. Structure doesn't stifle the spiritual. It activates it. It's the form that faith flows through. It's the calendar that honors your calling. It's the boundaries that protect your brilliance. It's the systems that turn desire into discipline and discipline into destiny. Now listen carefully. When you combine structure with certainty and identity with integrity, you become magnetic. Not because you're forcing anything, but because you've become the container for everything. Which leads us to the final shift, the one that brings it all together. Embodiment. Because no matter how much you desire or how much you plan, if you don't embody the outcome now, it cannot show up later. You're not waiting for abundance. Abundance is waiting for you to become the person who can receive it. That's the key most never realize. They think they'll step into the new version of themselves after the results come, after the raise, after the breakthrough, after the business succeeds. But spiritual law doesn't work like that. Life doesn't respond to your waiting. It responds to your embodiment. You must walk as the person who already has what you're asking for before it appears. Not in pretense, but in principle. Not in arrogance, but in alignment. This is where most people retreat. They say, "But I don't feel it yet." Of course you don't. You don't feel it because you haven't practiced being it. Embodiment is a discipline, not a mood. It's the repeated decision to act, speak, move, and live from your future self as if it were your current self. You want to know who you are? Look at what you tolerate. Look at how you speak to yourself. Look at how you show up when no one is watching. Because that's the version of you life is responding to, not the version you post, or pray for, or promise to become later. Let me give you an example. Imagine a woman who dreams of becoming a successful entrepreneur. She visualizes, affirms, prays. But every day she wakes up in chaos, makes decisions in fear, and talks about money like it's a scarce, dangerous thing. That woman is not wrong for dreaming. But until she starts showing up now as the leader she wants to be, until her posture matches her promise, until her daily habits mirror her desired outcome, she will continue to live in a delay. The bridge between desire and manifestation is embodiment. Not just thinking better, not just feeling better, but being better now. Speak like someone who trusts God's provision. Move like someone who knows her worth. Decide like someone who no longer fears loss. Treat money like someone who respects it, not someone who chases it in panic or hoards it in fear. Because when your current behavior contradicts your desired reality, you're sending mixed signals. And the law does not reward confusion. It rewards clarity, consistency, embodiment. So stop waiting for permission. Stop stalling for the perfect moment. Start living as if the shift has already happened, because spiritually, it has. And when you walk that truth long enough, the external will have no choice but to obey. Because the law is faithful. It does not bring what you wish. It brings what you are.